Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning. So today I'm running out to get a couple of parts. Welcome to quarantine, Steve here. The much overdue time to get a haircut. Yeah, so today we're running out to get a couple parts. We're gonna pick up it's a 4770K. It's an i7 4770K that's in this office PC. So it's like a small form factor Dell. The guy is only selling it to me for 20 bucks because he said it won't boot. He's not sure what the deal is with that. So we'll check that out. I'm hoping at least the CPU is good because across town we got another. It's like an MSI gaming motherboard with an i5 4th generation in it. And so I could put the i5 in the office PC and put the i7 in the gaming motherboard and basically build two systems around that. So we'll hopefully get that started today. All right, so we just picked up that HP and it doesn't look too bad. The one thing I was wondering about it, because the guy said it doesn't boot, is if it had a internal speaker on it so that I can get the boot sequence beeps, right? So I was looking across all the pictures that he had last night, and I'm scrolling through them. I'm like trying to zoom in, and of course it gets blurrier as you zoom in. And so I'm looking, and it's like, okay, I don't see a speaker anywhere. Way in the back here, you can see that little red and white connector there. That actually goes to a speaker right out on the front. Yeah, so basically what we need for it now is a power cable. And that should be at Micro Center for $5. And then a stick of RAM, maybe like a 4 gig stick just to get started. It's got 4 DIMM slots, so yeah, so I don't know. I'm like talking to this other guy about that gaming motherboard that has 24 gigs of RAM in it. I'm kind of excited about it. We'll see if this guy gets back to me on. I asked, he wanted 120 for the motherboard, the i5, and 3 sticks of RAM, which is a pretty good deal, but like I'm trying to keep it at like a really low budget, so I offered him $80, and then I'm hoping he'll just like bump me up to like 90 or 100 or something like that, and then I'll probably end up taking it, but we'll see what happens. So unfortunately at Micro Center we've got a line and a half out the door. Probably some kind of restriction on how many people can be inside at the same time. It sucks, man. System didn't have one of these basic power cables, so we had to pick that up. I thought it was going to be $5. It's $11.99. So it's a good thing I asked, talk this guy down, because that makes our total $31.99 on the system. And then then I got some RAM. The RAM was actually pretty cheap, $22.99 a piece for these 4 gig sticks. They're at $1,600. I know I probably could have gotten them used, but you do so much running around when you're trying to get used stuff. It's nice to come to one store and just have everything you need, you know, and then I have a receipt. I could technically return it if I wanted to, but and then a Western Digital blue solid state drive. So this was not $79.99, it was $64.99. It was not too bad. This won't be the one that I put in the system. It's a 500 gig. This is going to be for a nicer system down the road. I'm probably just going to set this up, make sure that Windows works and everything on it, and then maybe buy a smaller SSD later down the road. And then some essentials, gummy bears and Monster. So that being that, let's head back home. And I haven't gotten an email back from that guy selling the gaming motherboard with the i5 in it. He might not have liked my $80 offer, but at this point, considering what I just spent here, I'm probably going to hold off on that and just try to get this office PC working right now. So I just heard back from the gaming motherboard guy, and he got back to me. He said that he will sell it to me for $80. But I have to come get it today. So that works. All right, so the guy said that he said he did take out the cooler and make sure that it was the right CPU, i7-4770K. And I did plug this back in. I'm assuming he just put the cooler back on and didn't plug it back in. I think I'm gonna roll the dice and just power it up and see what happens. And then if there's a problem, I think what I'll do, you know, I'm gonna put in RAM, obviously. If there's a problem, I'm going to just I'll just check the pins. If it boots up to the BIOS, then I think what I'll do is take the cooler off, put on some new thermal paste, make sure that's all resealed and everything, and then and then go to boot the OS and everything. I just want to see it at this point as is. Will it at least get to BIOS with a stick of RAM in there? We got a little life there. Then I'll take a HDMI. This actually could be DisplayPort. I'm gonna unplug that. I don't know why that fan was spinning up so high. Okay, so DisplayPort is on, plugged in. Let us see what is the deal here. So I never hit a power button. That was the weird thing. I'm wondering. Power button on the front, okay. Okay, so maybe it was just running. I just powered it off with a hard power button here. So let's. I mean, we're not getting any kind of beeps or anything. There's supposed to be a cable or a speaker here. This is what is happening. When it powers up, there is no signal to the monitor. The power supply seems to be running normal. I do hear a fan spinning in the power supply. The motherboard has a green indicator light on it. The motherboard does not beep, and so we know that it's not getting to any kind of BIOS, any kind of post or anything like that. The CPU fan spins up because again, power is going through the motherboard, and then after about 30 seconds, the CPU fan maxes out. You hear it just run up to maximum speed, and it sounds like a airplane taking off. So from what I read on the forums, if the motherboard can't regulate that CPU fan, in other words, if there's a fault in the motherboard somewhere, that CPU fan will automatically just go up to its maximum speed. That does make sense because if you plug a fan, just a case fan, directly into your power supply with like the Molex cable, from what I understand, that fan runs at 100%. And so it would make sense that if there's nothing there to regulate that CPU fan, like your motherboard, that it would, run up to 100%.
So one thing I missed here that did cross my mind is that the CPU could also be bad. I thought it was funny that anyone would put an i7 4770K into an Office PC. Like, it just didn't make sense why you would put an overclocking CPU into an Office PC. So long story short, I did test this out by putting in the i5 that I got from the gaming motherboard purchase, and it booted right up. So it's possible that the guy threw this i7 in there after he killed it and then played dumb thinking he could sell it to an unsuspecting buyer. And I definitely had my suspicions when he quickly went from a $40 price tag to a $20 price tag when I started to hesitate on the purchase. And considering when I got still the case and power supply, motherboard, and built-in DVD drive for only $20, this wasn't a bad buy. Alright, so let me know how you think I did today. So for the Office PC, we spent about $20 on the initial system. A little pricey on the SSD, but it's high quality, and I think we can pass that cost into our final price. Since we spent $80 on the gaming motherboard combo, I'm going to split that cost over two systems. So it would be $20 for our RAM and $20 for our processor. This makes our total for the Office PC around $125. And on eBay, the prices are going anywhere from $125 for specs that are much worse than ours, up to $250 for comparable specs, although I doubt that they use quality parts, and plus they're losing money on eBay fees. So I think I'll list this PC for about $300 on the local free sites, and I'm assuming someone's going to offer me about $200 to $300 on it. So our profit would be around $75 to $175. If it still doesn't sell, I may swap that hard drive out for something cheaper, maybe do like a low quantity SSD with a 500 gig Western Digital Blue or something like that, and then I'll lower the price and make sure that there's still room to make a little money. So for the gaming parts, since we split the cost of these parts with our other PC, we can effectively say that we spent $40 on these parts. We still have a capable gaming motherboard, which sells on eBay for around $60. Also 16 gigs of 2x8 sticks at 1600 megahertz, which also sell for around $50. So our total possible profit on that would be $70. Grand total, if everything sells at the highest price, we'd make close to $250, and plus the fun of doing all this, because that actually makes it all worth it. So let me know what you guys think of the video. Stick around for an update on whether we can sell those parts off, or if we want to take that gaming motherboard and make a PC out of it. We'll see.